You don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. A quote that I heard from Mr. David Fields over the weekend at the Empowered to Win Summit, professional summit done by Coach Kelly. And I just want to talk about that today. That's what we're going to talk about. It was such a great time. It was such a great time. And that is what we're going to talk about. You don't get what you want in life, but you get what you become. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you're listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. Certifying credentialed coach through the International Coaching Federation. Sit back and relax and let us go on a journey together of transformation. Can I have permission to come into your space? Can I have permission to go on a walk with you? Can I have a permission to go on a run with you? Can I have a permission to drive in your car with you? Can I have permission? And can you grant me that success, that access to coach you and the coaches in this community today? Mm, mm. Everything that is said between us is confidential. If you reach out to me, it's between me and you. Okay, it's between me and you. It's between me and you. Now let's get our focus. Let's get our agreement. Our focus is, or our coaching agreement is that we want to dissect what it is that Mr. David. And so it was some more speakers there. I'm just going to call their names so you could know. There was Mr. David Generet, Mr. Justus Cox. Finally get to meet him, Mr. Welvin Simpkins, and Mr. David Fields, and of course, Coach Kelly. At the beginning of the summit, I was asked to give the charge, to motivate and inspire all of the vendors and the speakers before they go to the main session. And I was talking, me, I love to talk. I was talking about impact and impact and impact. But that's all good. I want us to get into this quote here. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. Now, what are your expectations? What are your expectations? What do you expect to get out of that? What do you expect to get out of this day? Oh, but before we get into this coaching session, just take a big breath. And breathe it out. Let's take in another breath. And I want you to hold it, and before you let it out, I want you to think about something you are grateful for. And now let it out. There was another speaker by the name of Justus Cox. And he said something also that was powerful. He said, not everything you see, you should believe. Ouch. I'm telling you, I encourage you to go there and check these speakers out. If you're looking for someone who can have a great summit, who want to impact leaders, check out Coach Kelly. And then also there's another summit coming up in July 11th in Charleston, in the Low Country in South Carolina, run by Harry Dant III, who was also a speaker at this summit. Not this summit, but the previous summit. Justus Cox said, not everything you see you should believe. Woo. Meaning that just because we see it, we don't have to accept the face value of it. And then he went on, and he talked about the 4 agreements. He brought up a book that changed his life, the 4 agreements. And I said, if he had come to my office on my office, I had a printout of the book title or and also the four agreements. And one of my favorite agreements was that don't make assumptions. Not everything that you see you should believe. I can see something that looks a certain way, but that don't mean that is what it is. Oh, I don't know if I said that right. Someone can look poor, but that don't mean they are poor. Hmm? Someone can look wealthy, but that don't mean they are wealthy. Someone on the outside can look good. You can't see, you right, but on the inside they are dealing with pain, turmoil, and hurt. I gotta look at this. Not everything that you see you should believe. Not everything that you see you should believe. I'm thinking about the news media. I'm thinking about television. I'm thinking about social media, being on those social media streets. We have to be careful. Just because somebody say it, you don't have to believe it. And what that made me think is that, guess what? I don't have to believe everything. And also what that did to me also, and I don't know what is coming up when you hear that statement. Not everything that you see you should believe. Because someone can show you a lie, it don't necessarily have to be true, and you can end up believing that lie. Woo! And then you go on for months and years and you believe that lie, and when you get to that individual and you finally talk about what happened, they said, "Oh, they say, you remember when you said that?" Say, "Boy, that is so true." And they said, "Oh, that's not true." "What you mean it's not true?" "Oh, it was just a joke." I felt like it sounded good in that moment and I just said that. Now, here's the coaching question based on Justus Cox. He said, not everything that you see you should believe. Here's a coaching question, and I'm thinking about this. What are some things that we are seeing that we have believed or we are believing, but they necessarily don't have to be true? Woo! I'll say that again. What are some things that we are seeing in our life, our family, our businesses, our neighborhoods, our networks, or people that we connected to? What are some things that we are seeing every day that we are believing and it necessarily don't have to be true? Not everything that you see you should believe. In fact, I don't even want you to believe everything that I say. Why? Because I want you to be a good student and I want you to go test out or put what I said and see if it's really true. Just because I say it, I don't want you to say, well, okay, because coach said it's true. No, that's not a good student. A good student, even though the teacher teaches it, that student goes and what? Does their own research. Mm, mm, mm. That's the good student. And they say, oh, based on what that teacher said, it is correct or is not necessarily correct, or this is what they were saying. That's what being a good student of life is. Not everything that you see you should believe. I think that was so powerful, and there are so many other things I could go on. Mr. Justin Scott, he talked about the three keys: leadership is influence. He went on talking about the three keys. He talked about consistency, accountability, and I think initiative, or something like the power of opportunity to add or take change before others. And it was very good. Now, let me get into this. David Fields. Is what you don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. And at the end of the session, Coach Kelly called me up to say some words. And say some words after what he spoke. And I was telling the audience, it was a group of young people, I was telling them that there are a lot of things that we want in life, that wanting it is one thing, but becoming it is another. It's easy to say you want to be a good father, but you have to become a good father. It's easier for you to say, I want to lose weight or I want to get healthy, but you have to become health. And what I realize in life is there is a lie going on that whatever you want in life, you can get. No, that's not true. I'm here to burst your bubble. Not everything that you want in life, you can get. And not everything that you want in life, you should have. But like Mr. David Fields said, you don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. Mm, mm. You get what you become. Meaning that faith without works is simply just talk. Mm, 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 mm. It's like Denzel Washington has a quote. He talks about how dreams and goals, it's one thing. But with action, but without action, mm, it's just a dream. It's just a goal. Like when I was telling them also, when I decided to run, I ran 5 full marathons. When I decided to run that marathon, I had to become the marathon. Hmm? Like there was one time when I wanted to be a life coach, but there was a time when I became the coach. Whoo! I don't even know. I don't know if I said that correctly. Okay. Whatever you want to do in life, the question is not if you want it. The question is, are you willing to go through the process to become it? Mm. Now, there's a quote that also ties in that with Mr. Justice, not Mr. Justice, Mr. David Fields talk about you don't get what you want in life, you get what you become. Jim Rohn also has a quote that success, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, he says success is not something you pursue, success is something you become. Ooh. Success is something you become. You become. Whatever that dream is, I feel a little shift right now. Listen up, family. Whatever that dream is, and I'm talking to myself too, whatever that objective is, whatever that vision is, we have to become it to the point that we're living it, we're drinking it, we're sleeping it, we're driving with it, we're running with it, we're sleeping with it, we're praying about it. We have to become whatever that thing or that purpose that we are going after. Mm. Mm. We don't get what we want in life. Yeah, you want this, but you have to become it. In other words, you want this, but the question, you have to become it to get it and to achieve it. And in the middle is a word that we don't like, is called process. In becoming the thing that we desire or the thing that we want it to be, that speaker, that life coach, that electrician, that plumber, that teacher, that father, that mother, that psychologist, that therapist, whatever that is that we want to become, is a process. And through that process, it's going to be some good days. It's going to be some high days. Through that process of becoming, you're going to feel like giving up. You're going to feel like forgetting it. Through that process, it's going to look like there's no traction. Hmm? Is anybody listening to the podcast? Is anybody watching the videos? Is anybody buying the products? Is anybody buying the services? Come on now, let's be real. You're going to go through a period of becoming, you're going to go through a period of wilderness where you're going to feel isolated and feel like maybe this isn't working out. And then you're going to have that thought, you're going to have a talk with yourself and say, is this really what I was supposed to do? But in that moment, you have to remind yourself, if this is my purpose, if this is my why, and we realize that what? Our purpose was never lost, it's inside of us. If this is my assignment, if this is what I was placed in this world to do, I embrace that process. And even though, like Mr. Justus Cox says, even though not everything that you see you should believe, even though it may not look like there are no fruits, it may not look like there is no traction, it might look like there's no movement. Like a tree, the roots are growing underneath. And your roots are starting to get stronger and stronger, and they're starting to spread. And sometimes we give up prematurely. Why? Because we make a decision based on Mr. Justus Scott said, we make a decision based on believing what we see. But if you know 100% that this is what God called you to do, you work on that every day. You work on that every day. And we're not moved by just by what we see. Because not everything that we see we should believe. We move based on our purpose. We move based on the assignment that was given to us. We move not based on what we see. We move not based on what we feel. We move based on, as a soldier, this is my assignment. Woo! Let me check in. How you do? How you doing? How are you doing? Oh, there's so many nuggets we could go on and talk and talk and talk and talk, but you don't get what you want in life. You get what you become. So the question is, coaching question, do you really want to become it? Do you really want to become that speaker? Do you really want to become that teacher? Do you really want to become that that mother, that father? Do you really want to become that A student? Do you really want to become a professional athlete? Do you really want to become that movie actress or actor? Do you really want to become that poet? Do you really want to become that writer? Do you really want to become that producer, that director? Do you really want to become that leader? So it's not what we want. And thank God there was a lot of things in life that I want. And I'm glad it didn't manifest. But when you look at your life, if we would be honest with us, it's not what we really want. It's what we became. We became that thing. We became that. We embrace it. And each of us, we have becoming that thing that we went after. I just have to bring this to a line. And thank you so much for listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson. You can listen to more episodes at my website, AntonioLandisThompson.com. Many more episodes. I have all of my coaching packages out there for you who if you feel like you want to go on a ride and get a deep dive into a coaching over a couple of weeks or a couple of months, check it out. Feel free to reach out to me. What are your expectations met today? Let me end by saying this. Justus Cox says, not everything that you see you should believe. But also, Mr. David Fields says, we don't get what we want in life. We get what we will come. Remember that life is a process. Whatever is your purpose in life, whatever's that objective, embrace that process. And remember that in order for you and I to achieve and reach our destiny, we must become that thing. We must become that thing where we're eating, drinking, sleeping, walking, running. The vision, we have become the purpose, and we have become the vision, the best. And the greatest day to be alive is today. Your purpose was never lost. Your purpose is inside of you. Not everything that you see you should believe. Justus Cox. We don't get what we want. We get what we become. Mr. David Fields, your day is going to be amazing. Whatever that purpose is that God has given you, don't give up on it. Embrace the process. Embrace the journey. And remember that there's greatness inside of you. And just like a tree, every day your roots are growing underneath, and you're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I love you. Your day is going to be amazing. Blessings.